There's Alex and Roger Stone.
This is the correct etiquette for the presidential swearing in, according to Emily Post and the official manual.
Roger Stone has a top hat.
Last time I wore this is when I got married.
Wow, this is called peacocking, my friend.
Yes, indeed. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it?
But look at the bracelets.
My problem is a 22-inch neck, and most of it's not fat, unfortunately, but I can't get a tie around this neck.
Really?
I know, it's very insulting.
It's your look.
I'm not meaning it as like my jowls are my tie.
It's your look.
I guess it's my look. Yeah, Roger, you've been hit with polonium, but you've also had this big victory. Everything's, I guess, bittersweet. Best of time, worst of time. Just quick comments before we go in here.
Well, the New York Times reports this morning that the Central Intelligence Agency has intercepts of communications between Trump campaign officials and Russians. And among those listed is Roger Stone. I repeat again, this is unadulterated crap, falsehood, a lie. I'm anxious for the Senate Intelligence Committee to call me to testify in public so I can put this lie to rest once and for all.
Now, I want you to repeat this because this is so big, all the dots just connected. When he got hit with polonium months ago, CDC got with him weeks ago. We didn't know how to respond to this and put his book way behind. Media makes jokes about this, like, oh yeah, you're important. Somebody hit with polonium. Meanwhile, dozens of Congress people are on TV. We've got clips of it we put on the show saying he's the main guy between Russia and WikiLeaks, accusing him. I guess Putin gives you the info and the term crooked Hillary, and then you give it to Trump. Totally made up. But then he gets hit with polonium, and oh, he's not important. This didn't happen. It's no big deal. Meanwhile, just what you've surmised after weeks of trying to figure it out, they were going to call him, but he would then rebuff it all. So they need him to be dead. And how do Russians kill their spies? Polonium. So you could see the whole setup, the whole script, but you didn't drink it all or something. You're still here. Sometimes it takes a while to kill you. We hope they failed. But I mean, Roger, this is amazing. So recap what you just said for everybody. Your statement.
Well, today, page 1, New York Times, says that the Central Intelligence Agency, the deep state, who just won't give up flogging this horse, are claiming that they have intercepts of email communications and financial transactions between the Russians and the Trump campaign. And they name me specifically. I welcome any scrutiny because it's time to put this lie, this myth, this falsehood created by the deep state to bed once and for all. And is it incidental that they dropped this story on the day of President Donald J. Trump's inauguration? Is that incidental? No, it's an attempt to destabilize the next president of the United States.
By the way, what's crazy is all these foreign states have been caught trying to influence the election for Hillary. There's no proof of the Russians, and just like PP-gate, or just like the Russians trying to turn off the power plants, remember that a few weeks ago, all of it's lies. Later they admit it, and I read the New York Times article. They always say maybe they have, or they kind of do, or well, there's some of this chatter back and forth with no proof. So you see them leaving provisos in with their fake news. But unequivocally, have you talked to any Russians?
I've talked to no Russians. I also have heard from no federal officials to inform me that I'm formally under investigation, and no one has come forward to ask me any questions. But I live for that moment. I can't wait for that moment because it's time to explode this entire narrative of lies. Look, who's saying this? Who's saying this on the front page of the New York Times? The people who lied about torture during the Iraq War, lied about Benghazi, lied about Iran-Contra, lied about Vietnam, lied about the Kennedy assassination, lied about Guatemala and Chile. What do they do at the CIA? They lie.
And they've been caught lying about WMDs and the Vietnam War and torture and everything else. And they think, well, at least some of the elements in there, not the whole CIA, that this is their government and their country. And they're even openly threatening, McCain, better watch what you do to the intelligence community, as if Trump's attacking the real intelligence community. No, he's going after liars like Clapper and, liars
like Brennan.
Like Brennan.
Brennan warning the President of the United States to watch your mouth. No, I think he's the guy who ought to be investigated and prosecuted. CIA Director Brennan, the Saudi mole who runs the CIA.
Yeah, he better watch it.
I would say so.
Absolutely. All right, well, in closing, we're about to go in here, and Buckley can film as we go in here.
Tell us about the significance of today.
Today is a transformational period in American history. I think it was Alex Jones who said this is bigger than the Magna Carta, bigger than 1776. This is our last best hope to save this country from globalism.
And if America falls to globalism, the whole world does. And I had the New York Times again today asking me in ABC News, what's globalism? You know, like it doesn't exist. It's global corporate government that's fascist, that wants to pull up the ladder from everybody else and get rid of the middle class. It's in their own documents. It's in their own dossiers. It's in their own admissions that it's a worldwide corporate monopoly that wants to make the public poor and have population reduction. And you can argue, sure, there may be some overpopulation areas. The point is we don't need some fascist corporate world government to carry it out who have scripted themselves as world saviors. Okay, it's colonialism, corporate colonialism over the individual, the family, the environment, everyone, and we're trying to make America great again and the whole rest of the planet and have a new age of trade, low taxes, and peace.
Economic growth and peace. Today is a victory for the revolution. Let's get in there.
All right, Roger, one more thing for your statement. This is so important. I mean, let's be clear. This is a bold new move, them to say they have communication with you talking to the Russians. This is horse manure. I mean, in your own words.
Again, just to be clear, I have no Russian contacts, no Russian influences, no Russian money. I communicated with no Russians during this election or any previous election. Unadulterated crap.
How's I don't know how much you talked to 45 the last week. He's been busy, but the protesters have been absolutely beating women in front of us, attacking us, blocking,
throwing bottles of urine, throwing baggies.
I mean, these are really horrible people.
They're scum. They're scum. And the real question is, where was the D.C. Metropolitan Police? Where were their mounted cops with their nightsticks?
And that was my next question. Do you think the D.C. police will be a little better under Trump? But I guess he's not over them.
Well, he needs to appoint somebody better to run it. Remember, the District of Columbia is essentially run by the President of the United States. So it's time for a house cleaning and a new government there.
Well, we were told by police commanders that their bosses told them to stand down and let this happen. So that was Obama ordered to stand down.
Yes, no question.
And that's over in about 2 hours.
Yes,
last question. They've tried to fearmonger and say there could be drone bombs attacks, don't go, all this. But seriously, with a lot of Democrats not showing up, now it's like 80-something. If there is a terror attack here, they need to be looked at as suspects for the fact that they weren't at the scene.
Well, put it this way, if I do get whacked up there, I'm wearing the right outfit.
Hey, exactly.
As you're walking in here, tell me what your emotions are.
Exhilaration, excitement. This is a great, great, great day for America. And I'm just glad to be a small piece of it.
Talk about it, Roger. See you guys.
Look at that great shot right there of the sun. Love you guys. Infowars.com. We'll be back after doing a live show.
Thank you. Thank you.